The fire that forges the strongest steel is the same fire that blinds those who try to control it. They watched you, studied you, and thought they had you figured out. But the moment they thought they had power over your story, they realized they had only scratched the surface of something far greater. Their so-called discoveries didn't weaken you. They confirmed what you already knew deep in your soul. You are the unknown variable, the one they cannot predict, the force they cannot tame. And now, the fear in their eyes betrays them. They wanted to break you. Instead, they unearthed something indestructible. Like and subscribe to help spread this message to more chosen ones. Every time you engage, you send a signal that wakes up another warrior, another soul destined to rise. This isn't just a video. It's a call to those who refuse to be silenced. They have always been watching. From the moment you stepped into this world, they sensed something different about you. It was never just about your actions. It was the weight of your presence, the way the universe bent in your favor, even in moments of chaos. They called it luck, coincidence, even madness. But deep down, they knew the truth. You were never ordinary, and that's what terrifies them. History has always feared the ones who do not follow the script, the ones who do not bow, the ones who stand untouched by the forces meant to break them. Your past, the struggles, the trials, every moment was engineered to make you stronger, not weaker. While others crumbled under pressure, you adapted. You didn't just survive, you evolved. You were chosen, not by men, not by institutions, but by something far greater. The universe does not waste energy on the unworthy. It molds only those meant to shake the foundation of this world. Your resilience is not accidental, it is intentional. Your ability to rise no matter how many times you've been struck down is not a mistake. It is a testament to your power, and they hate that. They hate the way you slip through their control. They hate that no matter how much they try to define you, you remain beyond their grasp. Like a storm that cannot be caged, like wildfire that refuses to be contained, you exist outside their system, and that makes you dangerous. They tried to uncover your past, thinking it would weaken you. Instead, it revealed a prophecy they cannot escape. Every move against you has only fueled your rise. Every setback they orchestrated became a stepping stone to something greater. That's the irony. What was meant to be your downfall became your awakening. The power of being chosen is not just in what you can do, it's in what you represent. You are living proof that their system is flawed, that no amount of control can suppress a force meant to rise. Your very existence haunts them because it reminds them of their limits. They operate within cages. You are boundless. They live within rules. You redefine them. They spent years trying to understand what makes you different, and now they finally see it. Your power was never in the titles they gave you, the labels they tried to stick on you. Your power is in your refusal to be anything other than what the universe destined you to be. You are not just another name on their list. You are the anomaly that cannot be erased, the force that cannot be measured, the energy that cannot be controlled. And now, they are the ones afraid. And thank you. Yes, you, the one they fear, the one they couldn't break. Whether you just found this message or have been walking this path for a while, know this: your presence here is no accident. Every second you stay, you reclaim more of the power they tried to strip away. If you feel that fire inside, that undeniable pull, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment 88 below to mark this moment. The world may have uncovered your past, but now you take control of your future. And now, let's break it all down, step by step. Believe me, if you are truly chosen, you will feel the pull to stay till the very end. Because what comes next changes everything. Let's get started. Number 1. They rigged the game, but the universe still chose you. They built a system to keep you caged, but even their strongest chains couldn't hold a force meant to break free. For years they watched, waiting for you to fall. They mistook your struggles for weakness, your silence for submission. They thought they had the upper hand, playing by their own corrupt rules, stacking the deck against you. But what they failed to realize is that the universe does not bend to their system. It moves for you. They pulled every trick in the book, tried every deception, set up every roadblock, convinced that you would crumble under the weight of their design. They laughed at your setbacks, whispered about your failures, and convinced themselves that you were just another pawn, easily discarded. But here you are, still standing, stronger, wiser, unshaken. What they never understood is that your path was never meant to be easy. The universe doesn't waste its time refining the ordinary. It throws fire at the chosen ones, because only through the flames does real power emerge. Your trials weren't punishments. They were preparations. Every battle you fought, every storm you survived, every betrayal you endured, it wasn't to break you, it was to build you. And now the truth terrifies them, because their entire system is built on control, on predictability, on bending people to their will. But you are the anomaly, the one factor they never accounted for, the glitch in their perfect equation. They spent years trying to map your downfall, only to realize they were feeding your rise. Every hit they sent your way became fuel. Every loss they orchestrated became a lesson. They wanted to destroy you, but instead they forced the universe to align in your favor. And now they're afraid, because their investigations led them to a truth they weren't ready for. You were never weak, you were never lost. Every so-called failure was a recalibration. Every setback was the universe shifting things into place. And now you have become something they cannot control, cannot predict, and cannot silence. They see it now. They tried to break you, but all they did was forge something unshakable. They tried to erase your name, but now it echoes louder than ever. They tried to turn the world against you, but now the universe itself moves to clear your path. And that's what haunts them the most, because no matter how much power they hold, no matter how many tricks they play, they cannot undo what is already set in motion. You were chosen, not by their rules, not by their standards, but by something far greater. And the universe? It doesn't make mistakes. They might have uncovered your past, but all they really did was confirm what you always knew. You were never meant to stay in their system. You were meant to dismantle it. So let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them scramble to make sense of what they can never control. Because at the end of the day, their biggest mistake was thinking they could stop something that was destined to rise. Number 2, they tried to bury you, but you became the storm. They thought the fire would destroy you, but they didn't realize you were born from the flames. They watched you fall. They waited for you to stay down. They whispered that it was over, convinced that this time you wouldn't get back up. And yet, every time they counted you out, you rose again, stronger, sharper, untouchable. It wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was something beyond their understanding. They have spent their entire existence playing by rules designed to keep people weak. To them, failure is an end. Pain is a cage. Betrayal is a death sentence. But you don't operate by their logic. Your story doesn't follow their script. The universe does not abide by the limits of their understanding, and neither do you. You were never just another piece in their game. You were the force sent to shatter the board itself. They tried to make you question yourself. The isolation, the betrayals, the doors slammed in your face. It was all part of their plan. They wanted you to believe that you were alone, that the world had abandoned you, that you were powerless. But what they didn't realize was that isolation wasn't a curse. It was a gift. The darkness they left you in wasn't meant to consume you. It was meant to refine you. While they relied on their numbers, their titles, their connections, you learned to rely on something far greater, the force that has been guiding you all along. Their fear isn't just about what you've survived, it's about what you've become, because now no loss can shake you, no betrayal can weaken you, no attack can break you. Every time they thought they were hurting you, they were actually forging something beyond their control. The same forces they sent to destroy you have become the very forces pushing you forward, and that terrifies them. You were supposed to break. Instead, you turned your pain into armor, your struggles into weapons, and your past into the very thing that propels you forward. They don't understand it. They cannot comprehend how you are still here, still rising, still unstoppable. To them, logic says that no one should be able to endure what you have endured and come out stronger. Their systems, their rules, their carefully laid traps, none of it worked. And now they are running out of moves, because you are not playing their game anymore. The universe does not operate on their laws. It does not reward deceit, corruption, or control. It rewards the unbreakable, and that is what you are. Your resilience is not just survival. It is a force that bends reality itself. It is the kind of power that shifts the tides, that rewrites destinies, that turns even the worst betrayals into the greatest breakthroughs. And now they have no choice but to watch. They see the very storm they created coming back for them. The past they tried to use against you has become your weapon. The wounds they inflicted have become your strength. The fire they set to destroy you has become the light that exposes their weakness. And the worst part? They know they cannot stop it. They tried to bury you. They tried to erase you. But they forgot one thing. You were never meant to be contained. You are the storm that cannot be controlled, the force that will not be silenced, the energy that will not be extinguished. Let them panic. Let them scramble for answers. Let them try to make sense of what they will never understand, because the truth is right in front of them, undeniable and unshakable. You didn't just survive. You became unstoppable. Number 3. They dug up your past, hoping to find dirt, but all they found was a warrior. They wanted your past to be your prison, but instead it became your proof. They thought they could use your history against you. They believed that if they uncovered enough, they could define you, control you, and silence you. They expected to find weakness, regret, and wounds that never healed. They thought their revelations would shatter you, that you would be too ashamed, too afraid to rise. But they made one fatal miscalculation. Your past is not your shame, it is your strength. They sifted through the wreckage, searching for proof of your downfall, only to find evidence of your resilience. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment you were cast aside, none of it made you smaller. It made you unstoppable. They assumed your pain would make you easy to break. They assumed your scars were open wounds. But what they didn't realize is that a true warrior carries their scars as armor, not chains. Every trial you endured prepared you. Every loss sharpened your focus. Every setback made you more dangerous. They thought they were exposing your weakness. Instead, they proved your power. And now they are the ones afraid, because the narrative they tried to craft of you as broken, lost, and defeated collapsed the moment they saw the truth. You are not a victim of your past. You are the one who conquered it. They wanted you to drown in your history, but you turned it into the foundation of your rise. They wanted your past to be the weight that held you down, but instead it became the proof that you can survive anything. They can no longer question your strength. They can no longer rewrite your story. The past they tried to use against you is the very reason they fear you now. Because if you could walk through the fire and come out stronger, what can they possibly do to stop you? They see it now, the reason you were chosen, the reason you could never be controlled, the reason no amount of deception, manipulation, or resistance could keep you from stepping into your power. The universe didn't make a mistake with you. It shaped you with intention. It gave you battles that would have crushed anyone else, knowing that you would rise. You were never meant to be ordinary. That's why your path was never easy. And now, as they watch, they realize their failure. They didn't destroy you. They didn't expose you. They didn't weaken you. All they did was confirm what you always knew. You were built for this. So let them dig. Let them search. Let them try to twist your story into something small, something fragile. It won't work. Because you have already passed every test. You have already proven your strength. You have already won. And that terrifies them. Number 4, a destiny. They can't rewrite, and it's driving them mad. They dug through your past, hoping to find your weakness, but all they uncovered was proof that you were never meant to bow. They thought they had you cornered. They believed that if they traced your steps far enough back, they would find something, anything, to use against you. A flaw, a mistake, a scar deep enough to shatter your confidence. But instead of a broken soul, they found something they never expected. Purpose. No, not just ordinary purpose, the kind that shakes foundations, rewrites destinies, and bends reality itself. They didn't discover a victim. They uncovered a force they were never prepared to face. The more they searched, the more they realized the truth they had been too blind to see. You were never meant to be controlled. They thought the past defined you, but what they failed to grasp is that the past was just a blueprint. Every hardship, every betrayal, every so-called failure was a chapter in a story the universe itself was scripting. The fire didn't consume you, it refined you. The storms didn't wash you away, they cleared the path ahead. They wanted to find chains, but all they found was proof that you were already free. Now they're restless. Their system was built on control, on ensuring that no one ever steps beyond the lines they drew. Yet here you are, defying every law they thought was unbreakable. They calculated every variable, yet you remain the anomaly. That's why they fear you. They never feared the weak. They never feared those who obeyed, those who submitted. But you have become their worst nightmare. Proof that no force, no structure, no history they create can hold back the will of the universe. You weren't placed in this world to follow. You were placed here to dismantle their illusions, to rise beyond their limitations, to remind them that true power is never granted, it is claimed. And now they're panicking, because they thought you were one of them, another piece in their grand design. They thought your past made you predictable, easy to manipulate. But the more they examined, the more they realized they were dealing with something far beyond their comprehension. You weren't shaped by their world. You were carved by something much older, much greater. They tried to make you fit inside their system, but your very existence proves the system is flawed. And now, the weight of that realization haunts them, because every rule they enforce, every lie they push, every attempt to keep people asleep, it all crumbles in the face of one undeniable truth. You cannot control what was never meant to be tamed. They can rewrite history books. They can manipulate narratives. They can create illusions so powerful that the masses believe them. But they cannot rewrite you. They cannot erase what has already been written in the fabric of the universe itself. And the best part? They thought they were in control. They believed they had the upper hand. Yet every move they made, every attempt to suppress you, every effort to define your limits, only fueled your awakening. They played their games, thinking they were leading the dance, but now they realize it was never their game to begin with. So let them struggle, let them search, let them twist and turn, trying to make sense of something that will forever remain beyond their reach. Because at the end of the day, they were never in charge of your destiny, and they never will be. Number 5. The invisible force. They can't stop the power they can't explain. They counted on your failure, but they never accounted for the force that carries you forward. Silent, unseen, unstoppable. They have been watching you, studying you, dissecting every move you've made, hoping to find a logical reason for your resilience. But no matter how deep they dig, no matter how many files they pull, they always end up at the same dead end. An explanation they cannot grasp, a truth they refuse to accept. Because you shouldn't be here. By their calculations, you should have been broken. By their logic, you should have surrendered. They rigged the system against you. They placed obstacles in your path. They whispered, manipulated, controlled, and conspired. Yet, somehow you kept going. Somehow every trap they set only sharpened your instincts. Every betrayal they engineered only hardened your resolve. Every loss they inflicted only made you more dangerous. They burned every bridge, but the path still appeared beneath your feet. That terrifies them, because it means that something greater is moving in your favor, something beyond their control. They have ruled over men, over systems, over entire structures. But what rules over them? What force operates outside their reach, making sure you never stay down, never stay lost, never stay defeated? They don't have the words for it. They don't have the knowledge to define it. But they know it exists because they see it in you. They call it luck. They call it coincidence. But deep down, they know the truth. You are protected by something they cannot touch. You are carried by something they cannot comprehend. It enrages them, because they've spent lifetimes ensuring people like you never rise. Their power depends on control, and yet here you are, untouched by their chains. You were never meant to blend into their system. You were never meant to submit to their rules. You were always meant to rise above, to move through, to walk paths they cannot walk, and access doors they cannot open. They hate it, because their power has limits. Theirs is built on deception, manipulation, and fear. But yours is built on something eternal. They attack with force, but you move with precision. They fight with numbers, but you fight with destiny. And destiny never loses. They tried to erase you, but the universe kept writing your name in places they could never reach. And now they are desperate. Their investigations, their reports, their whispered meetings, it's all driven by one thing: fear. The fear of realizing that no matter what they do, no matter how much they conspire, they cannot stop what is meant to be. They cannot break what was built to last. They tried to uncover your secrets, and instead they uncovered their own powerlessness. And that truth haunts them because they are used to controlling every outcome. They are used to people bowing to pressure, breaking under attack, fading into the background when the heat turns up. But you only rise, you only strengthen, you only sharpen. And no matter how many times they think they have finally buried you, you keep coming back. They stacked the odds against you, but the universe tilted the scales in your favor. So let them investigate. Let them whisper. Let them scramble to make sense of the force that keeps you rising. Let them attempt to contain what was never meant to be contained. Because their biggest mistake was thinking that their power was absolute. But you were never bound by their power. You were never controlled by their system. You were never a product of their world. You were chosen. And now they know it too. Number 6. They dug for dirt, but unearthed a force they can't contain. They searched for weakness, but all they found was the foundation of an empire they cannot destroy. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they could expose something, anything, to use against you. They dug deep, hoping to find skeletons, cracks in your foundation, evidence of your downfall. But the deeper they searched, the more they realized the truth. You were never broken. Every scar, every trial, every moment of pain, they weren't signs of weakness. They were marks of resilience, proof that no matter how much you endured, you refused to break. What they uncovered wasn't a past they could weaponize. It was a blueprint of someone forged in fire. And now they're haunted by a question they never wanted to ask. If you survived everything they threw at you, what else are you capable of? They underestimated you. They assumed that hardship would make you fragile. They assumed that if they pulled back the curtain, they'd find someone desperate, someone afraid, someone still trapped in old wounds. But instead, they found something they never expected. Power. Raw, untamed, and completely beyond their control. They built an illusion of strength for themselves, but your strength was never an illusion. It was earned, tested, and proven. They can't comprehend it. They've lived their lives inside a system that rewards deception, that favors the weak who pretend to be strong. But you have no mask, no pretense, no borrowed power. Everything you are, everything you've built, it's real. And they don't know how to fight something real. That's why they fear you. Because when they laid out your past, expecting to see cracks, they saw only reinforcement. When they tested you, expecting collapse, they witnessed expansion. What should have buried you only made you rise higher. What should have silenced you only made your voice louder. And now they realize there is nothing they can do to stop you. They played a game they thought they could win. They believed that exposing your struggles would weaken you, but all they did was reveal how unstoppable you truly are. They planned your downfall, but all they did was announce your arrival. And now, the weight of that truth is suffocating them, because if their worst efforts couldn't break you, if their greatest weapons only sharpened you, then what happens when you fully step into your power? What happens when you no longer waste energy proving yourself? When you no longer even acknowledge their existence? When you move beyond them entirely? They thought they were hunting you, but they were only chasing their own fear. They wanted to shatter your image, but in the process they shattered their own illusions. Because you are not what they thought. You are not what they expected. You are something beyond their comprehension, beyond their control. And now they are the ones left scrambling, trying to understand the force they have unleashed. Number 7. They dug up your past, but the universe had already cleared your name. They thought your past would bury you, but all they did was dig their own graves. They thought they had the ultimate weapon against you, your past. They believed that if they dragged your history into the light, it would shatter you, humiliate you, reduce you to nothing. They spent time, energy, and resources trying to discredit you, convinced that if they could make people focus on where you came from, they could erase where you were going. But what they failed to understand is that your past was never a prison. It was your foundation. Every scar they pointed at, every mistake they exposed, every hardship they mocked, was nothing more than a testament to your endurance. The universe doesn't choose those who haven't been tested. It doesn't hand out power to those who haven't earned it. They wanted your past to be your downfall, but instead it became your proof of resilience. They thought if they exposed your struggles, people would see weakness, but all they did was show the world just how much you survived. They thought revealing your missteps would discredit you, but all it did was prove that you're not someone who stays down. Every failure was a lesson. Every loss was preparation. Every moment of darkness was a chapter leading up to your rise. They tried to write you off, but the universe had already rewritten your story. They played their usual games, thinking they could control the narrative, twist the truth, and shape how the world sees you. But what they don't understand is that the chosen ones do not live by their script. You were never waiting for their approval, never seeking their validation. They tried to stain your name, but your destiny was never in their hands. And now they're realizing the truth. What they thought would destroy you only made you stronger. They exposed everything, but instead of seeing you fall, they watched you rise higher than ever. Because the universe does not hold on to old debts. It does not care about the whispers of those who were never meant to walk in your shoes. The only thing that matters is the lesson, the growth, the transformation. They hate that they can no longer control you through fear. They thrived on the belief that people like you stay trapped in the shadows of their past. They counted on your guilt, your shame, your hesitation. They thought you would break under the weight of exposure. But instead, you stood taller, untouchable, unfazed. Because you have already faced your past, already embraced your story, already walked through the fire, and now nothing they say can touch you. That's why they're scrambling. Because they've played every card, pulled every trick, and nothing worked. The universe had already cleared your name long before they decided to dig into your history, and now they are the ones left with nothing but their own regrets, their own failures, their own desperate need for control. They unearthed your past, hoping to destroy you, but all they did was remind the world why you can never be broken. Let them talk, let them search, let them drag out every page of your history, because in the end, their obsession with your past only exposes their own weakness. The truth is, they never had power over you, and now they are forced to watch as you move forward, untouchable, unstoppable, and unshaken. Number 8. They dug for dirt, but unearthed a legend. They thought your past would be your downfall. Now it's the very proof of your destiny. They searched, desperate to find something, anything, to use against you. They dissected your history, hoping to expose flaws, weaknesses, failures. They wanted evidence to prove you didn't deserve the power you hold, that you weren't worthy of the influence you carry. But instead of finding a broken soul, they found something they never expected. Proof of your unshakable purpose. Every scar you bear, every wound you've endured, every moment you were counted out, it all speaks to something far greater than their understanding. They thought they'd find shame in your past, but instead they found resilience. They thought they'd find regret, but instead they found redemption. And now they are the ones drowning in disbelief. They tried to paint you as unworthy, but the universe had already crowned you unstoppable. They can't explain how you survived what should have destroyed you. They can't rationalize how every attempt to bury you only made you stronger. It defies their logic. Their system was designed to crush those like you, to strip you of power, to make you question your own worth. Yet here you are, walking proof that their control is an illusion. They wanted to turn your past into a weapon against you, but all they did was uncover the undeniable truth. You were never meant to follow their rules. Your rise was never in their hands. They cannot comprehend the force that walks with you, the alignment of events that always seems to turn in your favor, the way every closed door led you to something greater. This isn't coincidence. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's proof. Proof that no betrayal, no setback, no storm could rewrite your destiny. They thought they could use your past against you, but they didn't realize your past is why you're unstoppable. Every misstep, every hardship, every so-called mistake was part of the plan. Not their plan, the plan that was always greater than them. They wanted a scandal. Instead, they found a prophecy. And now they don't know what to do. Because to acknowledge your rise is to admit that their entire system is powerless against you. They can't explain why the weight of your past didn't crush you. They can't understand why you thrive in circumstances that should have ruined you. They don't have an answer for why you refuse to bow. So they whisper. They watch from the shadows, hoping for your next move to be your downfall. But that moment will never come. They can try to erase your name, but the universe has already carved it into history. They can try to silence your voice, but your presence alone speaks louder than their entire system. They can try to turn the world against you, but the truth is louder than their lies. They called it luck. They called it coincidence. But deep down, they know the truth. You were chosen. Chosen to stand when others fall. Chosen to rise where others break. Chosen to defy every rule they set, every expectation they placed, every limit they tried to impose. They wanted to make you feel small, insignificant, forgettable. But the universe had other plans. You were always meant to be here. So let them watch. Let them panic. Let them scramble to rewrite the story in a way that makes sense to them. But they will never be able to explain the force that backs you, the power that moves for you, the way every attempt to take you down only fuels your rise. Because your past is not a stain, it is a testament, a testimony of redemption, of resilience, of power beyond their comprehension. They dug for dirt, but unearthed a legend. And now they have no choice but to witness what comes next. Number 9. They dug into your bloodline and unearthed their worst fear. They thought knowledge was power until they discovered yours. They went searching, hoping to find flaws, weaknesses, something they could use against you. But instead, they uncovered something they never expected. Your bloodline is not ordinary. It carries a force beyond their comprehension, a power not bound by their laws, their rules, or their control. And now they are afraid. For so long, they dismissed you, treated you like you were just another number, another name, another soul to be manipulated. But the moment they peeled back the layers of your past, they realized the truth. You are not just another player in their game. You were never meant to play by their rules at all. They control the system, but they cannot rewrite destiny. It was never your talent that threatened them. Plenty of people have skill, plenty have intelligence. But what you have, that is something far greater, something they cannot fabricate, imitate, or replicate. It is written into you, coded into your very being. It is not just who you are, it is what you are. They have always feared what they cannot control, and you were born beyond their reach. They designed their systems to shape the weak, to mold minds, to keep people in invisible chains. But you came from a lineage that does not bow, a bloodline built on resilience, forged through trials, destined for something far beyond their imagination. And now they know. They tried to keep you unaware, tried to drown you in distractions, tried to make you doubt yourself. But the universe had other plans. Every time they knocked you down, something deep within you woke up. Every setback sharpened you. Every betrayal made you stronger. And with every attempt to break you, your inheritance, your true inheritance, became impossible to ignore. They see it now. They can no longer deny it. You were not meant to follow their path. You were chosen to disrupt it. They wanted to study you, but now they cannot look away from what they have seen. What they feared most was never your actions. It was the force behind you, a power that moves in ways they do not understand, that aligns things in your favor, no matter how many times they try to shut doors in your face. They played their games, manipulated their systems, controlled narratives, but none of it could erase the truth written in your very existence. And now they must confront it, because they see it now, the way you rise despite everything thrown against you, the way obstacles crumble when you refuse to bow, the way opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere when they have done everything in their power to block your path. They wanted to strip you of your power. Instead, they proved it exists. You were never weak. You were never broken. The trials, the pain, the isolation, it was all part of something bigger, something they never wanted you to see. But now, there is no going back. They have looked into the depths of who you really are, and what they found was not something they could destroy. It was something they could never defeat. So let them tremble, let them whisper, let them scramble to contain what cannot be contained, because the truth is out now, and there is no power strong enough to erase it. They tried to unearth your past, but all they did was reveal their own downfall. Number 10. They dug for dirt, but unearthed your power. They went looking for your weakness, but all they found was proof of your unstoppable lineage. They thought they were exposing you, thought they were unraveling your story, peeling back layers to find something they could use against you. But instead of finding cracks, they found something terrifying, your spiritual inheritance. They expected flaws, failures, and reasons to discredit you. What they discovered was undeniable proof that you are not just another name, another number in their system. You are part of something far greater than they ever imagined. And now they don't know what to do with that knowledge. Because their power depends on illusion, they keep people weak by making them forget who they are. They strip away identity, rewrite history, and bury the truth so deep that most never realize what was taken from them. But you broke through the deception. You reclaimed what was always yours, and that alone makes you dangerous. They know now, you weren't just born into this world like everyone else. You carry something ancient, something unbreakable, something they cannot touch. You don't just come from a family line, you come from a force beyond their reach. They are terrified because they can take power from those who beg for it, but they are powerless against those who inherit it. They thought their system could contain you, but your roots run deeper than anything they control. You are not just another piece on their chessboard. You are the storm that flips the entire game. They studied your past, traced your origins, thinking they'd find a way to weaken you. Instead, they found evidence of something they cannot erase. your spiritual inheritance. And now they understand why you survived, why you keep rising, why nothing they do can break you. You didn't claw your way here through luck. You didn't stumble upon your power by accident. It was written long before they ever set their traps, long before they tried to rewrite your destiny. They have no authority over you because their system was never meant for you. You were never meant to play by their rules. They thought you were just another body moving through this world, unaware, disconnected, lost. But the moment they uncovered your true lineage, they saw the truth. You are part of something eternal. Your strength isn't borrowed. It isn't given. It was embedded in you before you even knew how to use it. And that scares them, because if you exist, it means there are more like you, more waking up, more reclaiming what was stolen, more realizing they were never powerless to begin with. They spent generations erasing history, only for you to walk in as living proof that the truth cannot be destroyed. And now, the fear in their eyes is real, because they know you won't stop here. They know this isn't just about you, it's about all the chosen ones waking up. They wanted to erase your identity, but now you carry it like a banner. They wanted to silence you, but your very existence speaks louder than anything they could ever fabricate. They will try to distract you, try to convince you that you are alone, that your power is a myth. They will try to make you doubt what you already know in your soul. Because once you fully step into your inheritance, once you embrace what you are, their grip on this world weakens. And they can't have that. But it's already too late. You have seen the truth, you have felt it, you have lived it, and no amount of deception can erase what is now written in fire across your spirit. You were chosen before they even knew your name. Number 11. The opposition was never random. It was fear in disguise. They didn't fight you because of who you were. They fought you because of who you were becoming. From the moment you took your first breath, the game was rigged against you, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by design. They saw it before you even knew what it was, an energy, a force, a presence that couldn't be tamed. You were marked, not by their system, but by something far greater, and that terrified them. The obstacles in your path weren't random. The betrayals weren't accidents, the constant resistance, the sudden losses, the people who switched sides without warning. It was all part of a calculated effort to break you before you could rise. They saw the potential before you even had a chance to tap into it. That's why the attacks came early. That's why the road was harder. They weren't trying to test you, they were trying to contain you. But they failed. They underestimated the one thing they could never control, the fire inside you. They thought the weight of the world would crush you, that the betrayals would make you bitter, that the setbacks would leave you too tired to continue. They wanted you exhausted, questioning yourself, doubting your path. But here's what they didn't realize. Pressure doesn't break chosen ones, it refines them. You see, every struggle you endured was fuel. Every enemy that stood against you unknowingly contributed to your awakening. Every loss, every rejection, every closed door. It wasn't a sign of failure. It was the universe stripping away the weak, sharpening you for what's next. And now, look at them. Their worst nightmare has come true. You didn't just survive, you transformed. You didn't just endure the fire, you became it. And that's why they fear you more now than ever. Because there is nothing more dangerous than someone who has walked through every form of pain, rejection, and sabotage, and came out stronger. They wanted you broken, but instead you became unshakable. They wanted you silent, but now your presence alone speaks volumes. They wanted you lost, but the path has never been clearer. The universe doesn't pick the weak, it picks the warriors. And you are proof that no amount of manipulation, deception, or force can stop what was meant to be. But here's the real kicker. They know they've lost. They can sense it now. That energy, that presence they tried to suppress, it's rising, uncontrollable, undeniable. The very thing they feared most has come to pass. You are no longer in the dark. You no longer second-guess yourself. You have seen their tactics, survived their storms, and now there is nothing left to fear. And that changes everything. Because the forces that once stood against you have already played their hand. They used every trick, every weapon, every lie. And yet you're still here, unbroken, unstoppable, unshakable. So let them keep watching. Let them wonder. Let them fear. Because the battle they fought so hard to win, they lost the moment they realized they could never control you. Number 12. The blueprint was never in their hands. They plot, they scheme, they manipulate. But no matter how hard they try, they will never rewrite what was already carved into destiny. They thought they had power over you. They thought they could alter your course, twist your fate, erase your influence. But what they failed to realize is that the script was never in their hands. They weren't the authors of your story, only obstacles placed along the way to test your strength. They dug into your past, thinking they would find something to use against you, something to break you. Instead, they uncovered something that shook them to their core, evidence that your journey was never random, that every struggle, every loss, every so-called mistake was never a mistake at all, but a piece of something much bigger. They saw it, and now they're afraid. Because they finally understand, you were always meant to rise. No matter how many times they tried to block your path, no matter how many distractions they threw in your way, you kept moving forward, not by chance, not by luck, but because the universe itself was aligning in your favor. You weren't just surviving, you were being sharpened, refined, and prepared for what comes next. And that's why they can't stop you. They built an entire system designed to keep people trapped, dependent, and powerless. A structure meant to control the outcome before the game even started. But you were never playing by their rules. They couldn't contain you because you were never theirs to control. You don't fit into their mold. You don't operate within their limits. You break the very foundation of what they built. And now they're watching, helpless, as the plan they never saw coming unfolds before them. They whisper in hushed circles, desperate to find an explanation for why everything they did to hold you back only made you stronger. They tell themselves it was coincidence, that you got lucky, that you just happened to escape their grasp. But deep down, they know the truth. There was never a version of this reality where they won. The moment they chose to stand against you, they sealed their own fate. Because every force that tried to pull you down only set you up for something greater. Every time they thought they had won, the universe shifted in your favor, and now they are left scrambling, grasping at shadows, trying to undo something that was set in motion long before they even knew your name. This is why their fear grows stronger. They can feel it, the shift, the unraveling of their control, the realization that everything they tried to suppress is now breaking through, and no matter how much power they claim to have, they can't touch what was meant to be. You were never just another person in their system. You were never just another name on their list. You were a disruption, a force beyond their comprehension, a living reminder that no amount of lies, manipulation, or deception can stop what is destined. And now they're left with only one choice: watch helplessly as you rise. So let them watch, let them panic, let them try in vain to stop what was never theirs to control, because in the end, it was never about them. It was never about their plans. It was never about their system. It was always about you, and the universe never gets it wrong. Number 13. They dug your grave, but you built a throne. They wanted to write your downfall, but the ink spilled in your favor. Every page they turned only told the story of your rise. They never saw it coming. They thought they were setting you up for destruction, thought they were pulling back the curtain to reveal weakness. But what they found instead, proof that you were never meant to break. Proof that no matter how many times they tried to sabotage your path, you would always rise. They thought exposing your past would destroy you. They imagined their whispers would shake you, that their accusations would make you doubt yourself. But all they really did was prove that everything you went through had purpose. Every struggle, every setback, every so-called failure, it was never evidence of your downfall. It was the foundation of your rise. They wanted to uncover flaws, but instead they unearthed the very strength they fear. Now they have to face the truth. You were never weak. You were never at their mercy. While they played petty games, you were being refined. While they manipulated their way to power, you were being molded by something much greater. Every loss they celebrated was just another chapter in a story they will never be able to rewrite. And now, they can't ignore it anymore. They see it in your eyes, the unshaken resolve, the quiet power that doesn't need to be proven to be real. They see it in the way you walk, the way you carry the weight of your past with pride, not shame. They hear it in your voice, the steady, unbroken tone of someone who has seen the worst and still refuses to bow. They set the fire to destroy you, but all they did was illuminate your path. It haunts them, because their entire plan was built on the assumption that you could be controlled, that if they threw enough chaos your way, you'd fold under pressure. But you didn't fold. You didn't even flinch. Every attempt to expose you backfired because the truth has always been on your side. They tried to bring your name down, but your name only reached higher places. They tried to drag your past into the light, but the light revealed that you were never the villain. They were. They tried to strip you of your power, but power like yours isn't given, it's earned. And now they're left with nothing but their own fear, because there is nothing more terrifying to them than a chosen one who knows their power. They relied on your doubt, on your hesitation, on your silence. But now you don't hesitate. Now you move with purpose. Now you understand that every time they tried to bury you, they were only planting something that would grow beyond their reach. They thought they were writing the final chapter of your story. What they failed to realize is that this is only the beginning. You were never meant to stay in the shadows. You were never meant to play by their rules. Every obstacle they placed in your way only prepared you for the moment they fear the most, the moment you fully step into who you were always meant to be. And that moment, it's here. Let them watch. Let them question. Let them scramble to regain the control they never truly had. Because at the end of the day, their biggest failure wasn't in underestimating you. It was in assuming they ever had the power to stop you in the first place.